Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Token Metrics Market Update Show, brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. I'm your host, Bill Noble, welcoming Taz and Jan to the show. Folks, if you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, or you need guidance and need help as to what's going on, then like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want the best information in crypto, check out tokenmetrics.com for rankings, portfolios, and other ideas. So welcoming Arnud, Elijah, Daily, Jojo, welcome to the stream. So here's how we're going to do it today. I'm going to go through the market update. I'm going to try to take a couple questions. And then I'm going to give you some altcoin overtime. So I know y'all love altcoin overtime. So I want you to stay with me while I run through the market update. Now, today is December 8th. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that need that timestamp. So for the market update for December 8th, here we go. Now let's talk interest rates. You might be asking yourself, Bill, why does crypto suck? Why is this not moving? Why is it a dead cat bounce? Simple answer, right? Every day, short-term interest rates go up. Probably because everybody thinks in legacy that the threat from inflation is worse than the threat from Omicron. Naturally, this goes back and forth, but higher rates are not good for crypto. Now let's go to Bitcoin and do a mini Bitcoin deep dive. So 50K, as I said yesterday, is maybe the new 58K. So at 58, it was stuck for days and days, and it may now be stuck at 50 for a couple days. Now 50K is roughly the 62% retracement of kind of the late September, mid-November run-up. So if Bitcoin is above 50K, then it's maybe okay. If Bitcoin is not above 50K, then maybe it's got some problems. Now let's take a look at sort of a granular level. So the previous chart was a 12-hour chart of Bitcoin. This is an 89-minute chart. 89 is kind of a big Gann and fib number. So what I'm trying to do here is take a look and zoom in and say, okay, is Bitcoin acting like it's going to start a new trend up? Or is Bitcoin acting like it's correcting and maybe there's another down leg coming? So what I've drawn on the screen in the bottom left is that you can sort of see Bitcoin does this up, down, up type of price action. Now that's called an ABC or a zigzag, depending on what chart book you buy. Now, to get to the bottom line, to me, it doesn't look like a new uptrend is starting in Bitcoin, right? So either Bitcoin is in this sort of dead sideways action, or it's correcting for another move lower. The inflation numbers come out on Friday. Now, I have no idea how markets react to that. You know, the expectation is the annual inflation rate will be around 6.7%. You know, you definitely have to keep an eye on what goes on Friday with that number. I think one of the other reasons why crypto is frozen in its tracks is that everybody is like, you know, oh my God, you know, is this number going to be bad? Is the Fed going to come in? Blah, blah, blah. And nobody wants to make a big trading commitment before that happens. Now, the good news for the world is ETH which everybody wanted to replace with every other layer one, is now saving the day. Like ETH is literally, ETH and Matic are essentially holding up the entire market. ETH continues to outperform Bitcoin, and we continue to see that happening even if Bitcoin goes down. So we can see a world, as a reminder from past streams, we can see a world where ETH goes up way more than Bitcoin goes up. We can also see a world where Bitcoin maybe goes down and ETH doesn't either go down as much or actually goes up in the process. Yes, that's right. We actually believe it's possible, theoretically, for them to move in opposite directions because ETH trades really well and Bitcoin does not. Now, that said, ETH has really got to get above 44.50 before you start getting all excited about new highs. So, yes, ETH trades pretty good. And one of the other reasons ETH may trade well is because people may be using ETH to buy NFTs and park money. Okay. Hey, if a new uptrend in crypto materializes, I work for a new crypto firm. I'll be super pumped up about that. But in the meantime, my sort of attitude on charts is this market kind of has to show me the money, show me that it wants to really like break out and get going before I get enthused about really anything other than say, maybe, I don't know, ETH, Matic, maybe Near, and one or two other trades. Now, let's talk about the Kraken Daily Index from tokenmetrics.com. This index, to review, is our AI going through rankings and picking, the top ranked coins and then putting them into a portfolio where you can, have some diversification. So the Kraken Daily Index has been, frankly, money. Absolute money all year, right? Particularly in the last 3 months. So whereas the Kraken Index wanted to park money, and I'm kind of seeing the same coins every day. So Matic, Polygon, right? Which never went down and continues to grind higher. Talked about Matic being a great place to park money. ETH, another good parking lot for money. Now, Decentraland and Sandbox, have been volatile. All right. But again, I sense that that's kind of like a metaverse parking lot, even though there can be more intense volatility in the metaverse. Now, let's take a look at Matic, right? This coin was kind of given up for dead, right? We saw it bounce off $1.60. We saw it wick down to $1.60. And now it looks like it's going to go to $3. All right. We talked about this a couple of times. Right. So it's not Matic to the moon like it was from, 1 penny to $3, but this can go back to 3, right? So a move from 2.5 to 3 or 2.5 to 3.5, while the rest of the market sucks, is pretty impressive. So if ETH is moving, this layer 2, which helps things move on ETH without gas fees, actually sort of makes sense that if this is the parking lot for money, or if this is where the capital appreciation is during kind of an El Succo environment, it makes sense to go with the AI. And again, tokenmetrics.com, right? Okay, another thing I got off Token Metrics is Axia, right? A new form of digital money. Okay, I originally started looking at it around 240. It seems to hold well. It's not really dipping. Buyers seem to be involved, and the next level up top is 435. So I want to see whatever is working continue to work. So let me explain that. So if there are sectors or coins that are doing okay, wait, correct, whatever, and just play these things that are working until the market makes a decision one way or the other. So with these coins that our AI is pointing out, I just want to see them continue to do well. So when I look at charts of the market, I don't go, oh my God, right? So I want to see what's working, continue to work. Now, speaking of working, yesterday we talked about the idea of doing like a layer one kind of almost day trade, or like a 2 or 3 day trade where you pick up some layer ones that are beat up, you put a stop in, and you say, all right, let's hope we can get a rally out of this. So near protocol, it was supposed to hang out around 8 or 9. They wicked it down to 6, stopped everybody out. So everybody who believed in the fundamental story got washed out, and now it's turning around and going higher. Now, the good news is if layer ones continue to trade okay, then the market will probably trade okay, because I'm expecting a transfer of value or leadership from Bitcoin to layer ones over, say, the next 2 months. That's a nice way of saying Bitcoin is not really going anywhere. And if there's capital appreciation, it's going to be in the layer ones. Now, on the comeback trail is Chainlink. Chainlink is a good reminder of how brutal crypto can be when they run stops, right? Chainlink was in a range between 23 and 37. And I guess everybody knew that, because when they washed out Chainlink, it was brutal. They went from 23, they wicked it all the way down to 17 twice. 17 or 18 twice. Wow. Now Chainlink is coming back up to the bottom end of the old range. So if you're a Chainlink fan, you're definitely cheering for this thing to get back in its range above 23. Conversely, if you're trapped in DeFi coins, okay, your Uniswap and your Avax, which we will get to. So yesterday I heard you, there were a lot of requests for what I call DeFi 1.0. I'm going to go through some of those coins. So don't go anywhere and hit that like button, because I'm hearing you and I want to help you. All right. People in DeFi 1.0 and Chainlink fans want to see Chainlink back above 23. If Chainlink does not get back above 23, then you really got to seriously think about not investment advice, but tax loss selling in DeFi 1.0 coins that you may have lost money in. Cosmos, on the interoperability theme. Cosmos is doing a pretty decent candlestick today, held support around 25.50 at a GAN level after 3 brutal flushes lower. So if there's going to be a comeback in interoperability and you're of the mind to try a 1 to 2 day trade, because honestly, that's really all there is until the inflation number comes out, or you're kind of a value investor going, hey, this was at 42 in the middle of October, and now it's at 24. Maybe I'll pick some up. That mentality would also make sense. So I'm seeing, yesterday it was Polkadot that was up. Okay. Today it's Cosmos. So interoperability is still out there. Now, if you miss near, what might the next trade be? Well, it could be Phantom, right? Phantom is holding near support, 62% retracement at $1.43. So Phantom isn't doing anything exciting at the moment, but from a risk reward standpoint, it's just above support. And this thing was at 240 in the middle of November. I thought it was headed for 4. So if layer ones continue to sort of assert themselves, Phantom could come back. Now, MetaHero, another coin that our AI seems to like, is at the 38% retracement of its recent up move near sort of 20 cents. Now, I want to use MetaHero kind of almost as a case study, right? If a metaverse coin can go up and then retrace and hold its ground and then start moving up, I think that would be very healthy for the metaverse, right? I said this was a mega trend. I'm still kind of hoping it is, right? That was pre-Omicron Fed scare. So I want to see MetaHero bounce. I don't think you have to catch the falling knife, right? You can do the day trade, but the point is I want to see these metaverse coins, basically get their shit together and base, and I want to see buyers start coming in, right? It's not a bull market unless you can buy a dip and make money, right? If you can't buy a dip and make money, then it was like a chase and dump. Like everyone chased it, and then everybody got washed out at once. I kind of hope the metaverse trade has legs, and I'm looking at both MetaHero and this chart, RMRK, as a way to say, all right, okay, what's going on in the metaverse? What's the chart look like? Do I have to get involved now, or can I wait? Because maybe there's another flush lower. I don't know, right? So RMRK, I'm looking at a chart point at 52. That's a big Gann line. It kind of went through there. There's a lot of FOMO, comes back down, and has not been able to get back above 52. So unless this is above 52, I'm like, all right, I'm going to leave it. Because if Bitcoin goes down again, you may wind up getting this in the low 40s or even at 35, right? So fundamentally, we like this, but I want to be smart about how I trade this, or how I sort of, I don't know, chart this is probably a better term, right? Again, not investment advice. Okay, Decentraland. Now, the good news is $3.50 is support, and that's holding. It seems to be making a triangle. It's not clear. So let me be, I don't know, concise. So if the Kraken Daily Index likes Decentraland and Sandbox, and Decentraland is above $3.50, and you want to take a shot and say, all right, if the inflation number is a non-event and everybody goes piling back into the metaverse, I definitely didn't want to pay $6 for this. I can pay $3.50 and put a stop in. I would say that sounds like sensible logic if this is going to be a parking lot for money during an uncertainty phase in crypto. It's as simple as that, right? So anything like a layer one or anything like a big cap that has liquidity on a centralized exchange that you can get into, maybe value invest or buy the dip with a stop near support makes sense to me. Now, Sandbox. Sandbox, the real level of support is around 4. Now, right now, it's at 525. Is Sandbox going to go down to 4? I don't know. It probably would have to be a really big you-know-what storm in the overall market to see that. So it's almost like you either pay, just above 5 for Sandbox and hope it goes back to 8, okay? Or you just leave it. You just leave it and you see what happens. Because one thing we know about the metaverse is once it starts breaking out, you can go with it. What we don't know about the metaverse is how it trades sort of when the market is in a corrective mode. So, I like Sandbox. There's a couple positive catalysts I heard out there today. The question is, where is the best chart point to buy it? Okay, I don't know. It seems clearer in Decentraland. Doesn't mean I like one over the other. It just means it seems clearer on the chart. Now, if Sandbox started breaking out above 5.5, Sandbox would look better. Okay, let's look at Avax. So yesterday we were discussing Avax and Solana, just kind of passing the time here, saying, all right, what are the trades that are out there in a dead market? And it looks like it's big layer ones on support, right? So Avax went up, it went down. It looked, frankly, kind of shitty yesterday when we were talking, but it's since recovered. So people want to buy the dip in these layer ones. And as long as you're getting upside follow through, it's a trade you can stick with as long as you're like managing risk intelligently and not putting all the rent money into these coins because you missed it on the way up. Really, it's just a trade. It's a trade that could turn into an investment if it keeps running, if this number on Friday is okay. But this idea of, ETH and layer ones as the trade continues. Now, Solana shows no interest in falling below support at 180. I saw Kraken research out yesterday. Now, it was interesting. These guys thought November and December were going to be huge up months for crypto. Don't blame them for thinking that, right? Especially with, December 2017 and all the different parabolics we've had in December. So their kind of call, which is something that we were talking about previously, was that Solana could turn around and move to 600. Well, frankly, I'd settle for a move in Solana where it could get away from 180 and go back to 260. So I like the idea that a big research player thinks Solana can go a lot higher. Obviously, we're going to need some help from Bitcoin and ETH, and it's going to have to be a positive risk asset environment. Okay. That said, Solana seems like a good trade, right? It goes up, it comes down, scares everybody, and then goes back up again. That's the type of stuff we want to see. Now, I'd like to see Solana take out its previous high at 205 before I got really excited, but this is looking okay. All right, folks, and that is part one of the market update. Let me see if I can bring my chart program up and take a couple of questions. So, yes, someone is asking about Polkadot. Wow. I think I had Polkadot in altcoin overtime. But let me see if I can bring this up because I know y'all love Polkadot. All right. So as I'm bringing this up, let me just tell you how, if there are token metrics customers out there, let me just, while I'm bringing the Polkadot chart up, that I definitely appreciate our business. All right. So if we're looking at this, we had the 62% retracement at 27 in Polkadot. So yesterday was a big day. And of course, as this market has tended to do, and has a big up day, it kind of comes down and tests people's patience, which means you should buy on red, not on green. I know you want the comfort of buying on a green candlestick. I get it. But that's not how this market has been working. It's been rewarding people who are buying stuff when everyone is giving up. So it looks like we had kind of a mini give up trade with Polkadot, and it went down to 27, and everyone was like, oh my God, and then it's come back. Interoperability is going to come back as a trade. Really, the question is, can Polkadot and layer ones survive another hit in Bitcoin? Yeah, I think it can survive. Yes, I think you can trade it and get long at 27, not investment advice. You just have to be prepared to not get married to really anything until after this inflation number comes out. Okay. Somebody asking about Reef, and someone's asking about Luna. So Luna, I'm going to cover in a second in altcoin overtime. Now, Raymond is asking about sushi. Okay. Let's talk about sushi, because I do know that people are suffering in what I call DeFi 1.0. And I've got a bunch of charts. I don't know if I did sushi or not in the deck for altcoin overtime, but let me take the question. Now, naturally, as I take questions, I kind of hope y'all are out there hitting the like button, because not only do I take questions, but I remember the coins from the previous day, and I try to get them into altcoin overtime, which again is coming right up. Now, with sushi looks like all these other DeFi 1.0 coins. I call them the DeFi coins on Coinbase. Now, what's happened in these coins, unfortunately, is that people have given up, right? The whole token supply's out there. These were good lures for liquidity. Everyone was trying to bring in liquidity using their token as an incentive. And when that trade went away and that sort of DeFi movement went to Olympus DAO, all these coins collapsed, all of them. Now, is sushi going to come back? Honestly, I don't think DeFi 1.0 is coming back without some sort of major catalyst, because it looks like it's moved either to Olympus and related forks, or it's moved over to Avax and places where there are no gas fees. So if you've got sushi or Aave or any of these other tokens, you've got to ask yourself, what is the value proposition of, what are the tokenomics? What's the biggest lesson of 2021 for me personally? Is that you just can't look at a project and say, oh, this has great functionality. This has a good team. This has a great story. What really matters is tokenomics at the end of the day, right? In other words, is the token set up to either give you yield or go up, or is it one of these things that it's going to go up, there's going to be a great story, it'll get listed on Coinbase, and then everybody gets trapped because, token holders are incentivized to sell. And then December is an additionally weird period, all right, where people are incentivized to sell for tax loss purposes, meaning the lower things go, okay, the more people are incentivized to sell. So, in other words, what I'm trying to tell you is in December, the lower it goes, it doesn't bring in buyers, it brings in more sellers because people go, oh, great, I got all these gains in Bitcoin, or I had gains in SHIB or whatever, and now I can just unload all this stuff that I bought, take the losses to offset the gains. So tokenomics is important, and understanding that between now and the end of the year, tax loss selling is on people's minds. So with that, let's go to altcoin overtime. Luna. Okay, this is DeFi that I'm really interested in. My colleagues like this. I picked this up on a chart a couple weeks ago. Very fortunate to catch this. This has got games, a lot of things launching on this, and it's got a really good DeFi story. Now, what it looks like is going on in Luna is that it's making kind of almost like a diamond formation, right? So it's been kind of a wild consolidation, from 56 to 75, back to 52, and now it's at 72. So if Luna can break out, right? If Luna really, I don't know, I think if it takes out, say, 75 or 76, this thing can probably run $15 or $20, right? Based on what can happen with diamond formations. So if the market holds itself together, this is one of the coins that I have seen our AI picking up, and the chart is decent. Okay, Immutable X. Wow, right? From 3 to 9, and then from 8 to 5.5. Now, is it time to value invest for an ETH layer 2 that does NFTs? Well, if it closes above 549, it could be time to consider this as a value investment play or a trade where you say, all right, if it holds above, say 549, I'll keep it. Or if it closes back below that 2 days in a row, I'll just exit. But somewhere in these trades that have been destroyed, there probably are value investing plays out there. Now, Binance Coin, another coin that basically never went down. It never went down. Now, that could be because it's boring, but it is consolidating below resistance at 675. So is this the sexiest trade out there? No, but I said the same thing about Matic, and I bet a lot of people wish they had Matic because everything else is down 40% and Matic is going up. So if there's catalyst here, I can see Binance Coin taking out 675. Now, I know there's a lot of Cardano fans, so I can't do altcoin overtime without Cardano. Cardano hit big support at $1.24. It bounced, and the question with this and all these other sort of like coins that have been hammered is, can bulls create something other than a wick down and a bounce, right? That's people getting stopped out. Can we see a big green candle? Okay. So I don't know the answer to that, right? Because now we're kind of going beyond crystal ball, right? In other words, people may say, where's everything going to be in a week or a day? And this is almost like an hour by hour basis. So here's what I'll tell you about Cardano. If you miss Cardano or you love Cardano or, you want to value invest or add to a position, right? You might be doing so around $1.40, not investment advice, with the idea that if this thing, falls apart and goes back below $1.20, that's probably the point where you say, all right, maybe this was not the trade to do. Or if you really believe in it, then you look to pick it up at $1. The bottom line is, if you're in Cardano and you're worried about it, you want to see a big green candle. You want to see bulls take control and say, okay, we're in charge of this thing, right? We're in charge. And you want to get that big green candle so you can go, okay, I can stop sweating this. because I know there are people out there sweating this. Now, Elrond, which went straight up and then straight down, I'm noticing is doing a very decent looking bounce, getting that sort of green reversal candlestick off a big fib and GAN number near 259. So Elrond is highly correlated with ETH. So if ETH breaks out, Elrond could, I don't know, maybe have another run at, say, 400 or 440. Again, what are we looking for? A breakout, a green candle, and an end to this like boring action that we have to sort of sit through prior to this inflation number. KDA. Now, another layer one idea that people have liked, obviously, because it went from 2 to 28. So as that FOMO got undone, I'm looking at support anywhere between 9.5 and 11. It's recovering above 11, but it's not like it's, oh, wow, look at the buyers come in after this thing. So with coins like this, again, bullish assertion, right? December 8th, altcoin overtime, bullish assertion is the key. Can bulls come in? Now, if you want to make a bet that they will come in, okay, now may be the time to do that while it's dead quiet. Understandable, right? You got to use a stop though, because again, if Bitcoin falls apart, all this stuff's probably going to get hammered, right? ETH may hold up, but I don't know. Will altcoins? Probably not. Okay, now that said, I know I've said that 4 times, but all that said, if you want to take a shot at some of this stuff that's been destroyed, okay, you can do so because it's close to support. Now, let's go to DeFi because I know that there are people tuning into the stream because DeFi 1.0 is a world of hurt. So this is the DeFi perpetual futures contract from FTX on December 8th. Now, the good news is DeFi wicked down like 2 or 3 different times and came back. So it looks like everyone kind of gave up on this all at once, and then it's coming back. It's holding on support. It held here in October, and this was also a big point back in June, right? In that case, it was a point where, DeFi just kind of tanked. So, 10K, like 50K in Bitcoin is the level in the DeFi per futures contract that you need to keep an eye on. So at the moment that this was recorded, DeFi is looking okay, right? In other words, you don't have to go, all right, it's over, I'm done. I'm going to sell it on top of support. I don't think you sell stuff on support, particularly after it's been destroyed. But what you do want to do is take a look and be intellectually honest with yourself. Why did I get into this DeFi trade? Okay. And is that story still there? And is there tokenomics behind my coin that would lead to further gains? In other words, people aren't asking me about DeFi because they want to get involved as a value investor. They're asking me about DeFi because they got hosed. Or they've been sitting with the trade all year and basically it hasn't done anything. Or it hasn't done enough since the bottom in June. So in DeFi net, you want to start seeing green candles, right? And if you don't see green candles, then you got to watch out for tax loss selling. Okay, Aave, kind of classic example, right? This is the 3rd time Aave's been down at 160. Now, once upon a time, I was taught triple bottoms don't hold. One of the first guys to actually teach me charts, that's what he said. Now, that was short-term interest rate futures. This is crypto. If you're in Aave and you're worried, okay, it's sitting on support just below 200, so let it sit on support. Let's see if the buyers can come in. You don't give up on this on top of support. Now, if there's another leg down in this market and these DeFi coins start falling apart again, as I said, you got to be careful about tax loss selling. Now, if you're a value investor, you might want to take a shot at some of this stuff, right? Like if you're a value investor, you buy really good quality coins, assuming these are quality coins at really good prices, which is what you have in Aave, Sushi, DeFi Perp, etc. Now, Rune, another example. Okay, Rune is a favorite of Multicoin Capital, big venture capitalist firm near me in Texas. Okay, Rune, I don't know, went from 7 to 16 and is now back at 7. So if the tokenomics and value proposition is still in play, Rune might be something where, you do a day trade, you come in, and then, if you make some profit, you take it, and then you sort of hold the rest as a possible moon bet. Matter of fact, that's how I play all these coins, not investment advice, right? You think short term and you hope for the long term. Okay, VeChain, a lot of people asking about this. I'm redrawing how I'm looking at VeChain. There's support at 10 cents. Now, I just have a really hard time believing, unless the whole market is going to crash, that VeChain at 10 cents is a bad idea. But as I said with everything else, just because I kind of like VeChain and have had success with it in the past, you want to see bulls assert themselves. Okay, so if I thought VeChain was looking good at 17, I kind of sort of have to like it at 10. I can't go, oh yeah, the story's completely changed, because this may have just been a flush out. So at 10 cents, I want to see bulls come in, but on a risk reward basis, I mean, your downside's 8 cents, so you definitely don't want to see VeChain trading below that. Your downside's 8 cents, but your upside is back to its old high at 18 if the market recovers. Now, if not, as I said, you got to watch the give up trade if it falls below support, and you want to stay tuned and hit the like button for the market update, because I know y'all like altcoin overtime. Now, Vulcan, okay, as we discussed, 16 to 48, from 48 back to 18, noticing that people seem to want to buy the dip on a GAN line around 26. So huge volatility in this coin. What would I do with Vulcan? Use it like RMRK as a leading indicator for the metaverse, right? So it's one thing for something to come down, hit support, and bounce. It's another thing for a market to go, okay, it went down, it hit support and bounced. Now buyers are willing to come in and say, I'm going to buy it at higher prices. I'm not going to sit here and wait for the whole thing to fall apart. I want to buy it now. Now that's what you and me and everyone else watching these coins want to see. Are buyers willing to come in and pay higher prices? Sol, a lot of people asking about this, NFTs and gaming. Good support at 221. Nothing but red candlesticks over the last couple days. People really seem to be exiting this. Now, when people give up on trades, when people give up, that can be the time to come in and say, all right, I missed this. I like it. It's a good project. Let's grab some at 227 or somewhere around there. Put the stop in below the wick low, and let's see what happens, right? In other words, in altcoins, you're either shopping as a value investor or you're holding on for dear life. Now, if you are holding on for dear life, stay tuned with this show, because we'll help you. If you're a value investor, stay tuned with this show, because we can help you. With Sol, I think, again, there is an opportunity because it's on support. It's an opportunity to both either shop as a value investor, or if you're bag holding in this, to say, all right, when do I have to worry? They're making it difficult on me, but if it holds support, at least maybe I can sleep at night. Now, just looking at one of the movers of the day and going back to a theme, that stuff that was beat up, given up on, and frankly hated, which I think is true with EOS. This was supposed to be the original Ethereum competitor. Okay, up 15% today. Now, if it takes out $3.60, that's an old floor. So if the old floor acts as a ceiling, don't bother with EOS. All right. If EOS takes out $3.60, I don't know. Then maybe this layer one has got life to it. Okay. I would not be paying up on green candles for anything, particularly something that is in kind of the POS category that this coin has been caught in. But the idea that people may be going after stuff that has been dead for a while. Last 2 days, we've covered Casper, right? Casper was this huge calamity. It's coming back, showing signs of life. The next trade for the rest of the year, annoying and as hard to find as it is looking at stuff people hate that they gave up on that, buyers come back into. All right, folks, that is altcoin overtime. Please like and subscribe to our channel. The more you help us, the more we help you. Okay, Julio is asking, is profit taking wise when dealing with Matic? Okay, good question. So there's an old Wall Street motto that you can never get fired taking profits, right? You can't. If you have profits, all right, and you want to take them, take them. Seriously. Like if you ask, should I take profits? Deep inside, you've already answered your own question. Now, could Matic go to 4? Sure. So you can take half of your money, okay? Okay, Mateo says you won't go broke taking profits, all right? Now, with that, I'm going to wrap up today's stream, all right? I definitely appreciate you. We'll be here tomorrow, later in the day, actually earlier in the day, for our live stream that includes our fundamental analysts. I'll go through the comments, so if I missed your altcoins, I know we got guys asking for ICP and SEAM and, a lot of other coins. Raymond's looking for Cody. I hear you. I will get it into altcoin overtime. Folks, we appreciate your business and your viewership. This is Bill Noble from Token Metrics. I'll see you tomorrow.